This image is a picture of Henry Ford's assembly line in 1913. Henry Ford was not a newcomer to automobile manufacturing. He built his first car in 1896, and in 1903 he opened the Ford Motor Company. 5 years later, he released the Model T, which led to the opening of his assembly line. The purpose of Ford's assembly line was to make an efficient car, but have a low price. A key to Ford's assembly line was to use interchangeable parts, which meant making the individual parts the same every time. For example, any valve could fit any engine, and any steering wheel could fit any chassis. This meant improving the machinery and cutting tools used to making the parts. Once the machines were adjusted, a low-skilled laborer could operate them, replacing the skilled craftsperson who formerly made the parts by hand. To improve the flow of the work, it needed to be arranged so that as one task was finished, another began, with minimum time spent in setup. This helped make wages lower. Ford was inspired by the meat packaging houses in Chicago and thought if the work was brought to the workers, they would spend less time moving about, which would speed up the process. Also, Ford decided to use the Model T to go in his assembly line simply because it was a cheaper, yet a very durable and trustworthy automobile. The connection this image has with U.S. history is that cars changed the way people lived, worked, and enjoyed their free time, and also does it today in the 21st century. At that time, it was very hard to afford a car, but at the Highland Park plant on December 1st, 1913, Henry Ford made it possible for most Americans to afford a car and live the American dream. The connection this image has to me is that I use cars in my everyday life to get to school, sports, and other places I need to be. And the invention of Henry Ford's assembly line helped make that happen.